I'm sorry, Elsie. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I got carried away with the intro. In this guide, I'm going to show you guys the best melee builds for hunters for PVE in Destiny 2. Let's go. So guys, in this video I'll introduce you to a couple of melee builds for hunters that are just absolutely awesome. It makes your hunter into a punching machine, or basically a titan. You become a titan by using some of these builds. No, I actually think that hunters have some awesome melee abilities, like we can throw knives, we can throw smoke grenades, and we can use the charge punch as well. And building around that ability can actually be really fun and enjoyable with hunters. So that's what I wanted to show you guys in this video. So let's just start out with the first build. Now this first build let you just electrocute everything around you with your hands endlessly. So you will constantly have your melee up. You will do so much damage with the melee. You can like one shot really powerful enemies, and you can just keep doing it and keep doing it. For PvP, this is so fun to play with, and you can just kill everything around you with this super lightning punch. Like I said, you feel kind of like a titan with this, just without eating the crayons. Like an awesome titan, like a clever titan. It's like the best of both worlds. So let's look at the actual build. So what you want for this is maybe the most important part of this build, is you need to have a shotgun that has the perk 1-2 punch. Now there are a few shotguns that has this perk, and let's just look at which ones those are. Probably the easiest ones of those to get is the Prophet of Doom, because that's from the Garden of Salvation raid, and the One Small Step, because you can farm those moon weapons on the moon by the altar of, I don't remember what it's called, but you know, the weird altar thing with the cryptograph or whatever it was called, that is by Eris on the moon. You will be able to farm that shotgun. And this is from the raid, the Garden of Salvation raid. So the special thing about this perk is hitting an enemy with every pellet in a shot increases melee damage for a short duration. So when you're close up to an enemy in the enemy's face and you shoot it with the shotgun and hit it with every pellet in the gun, your melee damage will be increased for a short duration right after that. Now for the hunter, you need to go with the top 3 Arc Strider subclass, because you have the combination blow perk on that. And what that does is, when you kill an enemy with this melee ability, you trigger health generation and increase your melee damage temporarily. Stacks up to 3 times. So already you can see we have 2 things here that increase our melee damage. And also you have the combat flow. Melee kills recharge your dodge ability. And dodging increases your melee range, allowing you to lunge further to strike enemies. So you can see how this kind of all works together. And also dodge, if you choose the Gambler's dodge here, dodging near enemies fully recharges your melee ability. So when you dodge near enemies, it recharges your melee ability. And when you then get a melee kill, it recharges your dodge ability. So you can dodge and then melee kill and get your dodge back. And then you can dodge again and get your melee back. And then you can kill someone with the melee and then you can get your dodge back. And so you can kind of keep dodging, meleeing, dodging, meleeing, dodging, meleeing, and you have increased damage on the melee. Now there's a few extra things that you can do to really bump up both the damage and how often you have your melee. If you can like get that dodge in perfectly every time, you will always have your melee back, but that's no guarantee. So I also use some other things to kind of make sure that this works perfectly. So the first thing I want to highlight is this, the Liar's Handshake Exotic Arms for the hunter. And what they do is, using your arc melee ability or being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counter punch that will heal you. So what this does is, after you've used your melee ability, you will get this extra powerful melee punch that you can do, the counter punch, and it will also heal you. So this works together greatly with the subclass here and the stuff that we looked at here, and also with the 1-2 punch where you get increased melee damage. The next mod that I want to highlight is this one. So this has two things. While charged with light, regain half of your melee energy when you use a charged melee ability. So that's the charged punch ability that we're using with this subclass. And also it has a passive perk, a secondary perk. While surrounded by multiple combatants, defeating a combatant with a fusion rifle, shotgun, sidearm or submachine gun adds ammo for that weapon to your reserves. So this makes sure that when you're surrounded by enemies, if you kill them with a shotgun, you will add extra ammo to your shotgun. And also it will make sure that you get half of your melee ability back if you just use your charged melee punch. Then I'm using this mod, Powerful Friends, just because it gives me plus 20 mobility. And that's because that will help me get my dodge back quicker. And the last mods I'm using here is, I'm using this one to become charged with light when I use my finisher. I use this one so that my finishers would generate special ammo for the shotgun. I use this one to reduce all ability cooldowns when I use my class ability near enemies, so that's my dodge. And then for the rest of it, it's just pretty much ammo mods for the shotgun. And I'm trying to also build up my resilience so that I don't get stomped when I'm close to enemies, because you're going to be up close with enemies with this build. So you can see out here that the stats that I focus on is mobility, resilience, and then strength to get my melee ability back quickly. That's how you make this build. So let's just try and see it in action. So now I'm going to show you another one, and this one is built on the Gunslinger subclass and with the weighted knife, and this is with the new exotic, the Athros Embrace. And that's because with the Athros Embrace, the weighted knife gains a second bounce. Rapid precision hits with your weapons grant weighted knife a significant damage bonus and the ability to stun unshielded combatants for a short time. An empowered weighted knife is strong against unstoppable champions too. And the thing to note about this is that precision knife kills with this melee ability immediately recharges it. Okay, so if you get a precision kill with the knife, it will immediately recharge. And you can use the Gambler's Dodge here as well to recharge your melee ability if you dodge near enemies. But you don't have the bonus that you had on the Arc subclass where you constantly get your dodge ability back. So it's not going to be the same, but you can build around this anyways. You can also still use this one, but it doesn't make as much sense because to activate this perk you have to be up front with the enemies, and throwing a knife is something you do from a distance, and so those two doesn't really work that well together. But you can instead use this one, the Monte Carlo, because the Monte Carlo has the intrinsic trait Monte Carlo method. Dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully charge your melee ability with each kill. If you get a precision kill with the knife, you will get your melee ability back. If you use the Monte Carlo, you will have an added chance to get that melee ability back every time you do damage or kill an enemy. And we can just keep the 1-2 punch, there's no problem in that. Also, I want to highlight this mod, Charge Harvester. This does that while you're not charged with light, any kill or assist has a small cumulative chance to cause you to become charged with light. So this just makes sure that I will be charged with light every now and then. As long as I'm making kills, I will be charged with light. And so of course what you want to do here in terms of mods is just make sure that you don't run out of ammo. Also change these resilient mods from the last build over to strength mods instead. And this one Grants class ability energy when you cause damage with melee damage. That's pretty neat for this build. Grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. That's also pretty neat because we need to remember that every time we use the class ability, the dodge near enemies, we will get the melee ability recharged. Okay, I am losing contact with the Destiny 2 servers. Hey! Are they going into maintenance now while I'm recording videos? Seriously, that would be so typical Bungie to just fuck up my recording session with their maintenance window. And we're back. This is all built around precision and melee. So when you throw this weighted knife, if you get a precision kill, it recharges the ability. Also, on this subclass, precision kills increase weapon stability and handling. The super does more damage when cast while this buff is active with 20 or more seconds remaining. Then we choose the Gambler's Dodge because that recharges our melee ability every time we dodge near enemies. Then for the Charged with Light mod, we're going to use this one. Casting your super causes allies to become charged with light. Now, that's fine by itself, but really what we want is the strength increase on this mod. Remember, with this build, what you want to do is just get precision kills with Monte Carlo because that's going to give you your melee ability back, and then you want to get precision kills with your melee ability. The cool thing about this build with the weighted knife is actually it's not at all the same feeling as with the 1-2 punch build with the Elias handshake. It's much more like it looks so goddamn cool when you can just keep throwing that weighted knife. You can also make it bounce off walls and stuff, and it will kind of when it has bounced, it will kind of lock on to an enemy, and that's even more cool. So you can kind of see how that build can be pretty fun as well. And as I said, in PvP that knife is ridiculous because it will actually follow enemies around, and it's almost impossible to not hit an enemy with it if you bounce it off the ground first. The last build that I want to show you is not so much about doing damage, it's actually much more about helping out the team. So what you need here is the bottom 3 Nightstalker subclass. Again, using the Gambler's Dodge is the best option because that recharges your melee ability. For this build, you use I hate Bungie for naming these exotics such ridiculous names. Okay, so you use this because the intrinsic trait here is you gain a second smoke bomb charge and have damage resistance while you're invisible. When you make an ally invisible, they gain damage resistance while invisible and you gain melee energy. So this is kind of like the same thing as the other ones. You have to build around getting melee energy as much as possible, and then it's just about throwing smoke bombs. Every time you make your allies disappear or yourself, you will get melee energy back, and then while your teammates are invisible and yourself as well, you have damage resistance. So this is pretty nice when you're doing high-end activities like difficult nightfalls, for example, where sometimes it would be nice if your whole fire team could just turn invisible and be damage resistant as well. So it's kind of a supportive build that you can use to help all of your friends like that. It's also really fun if like you're in a gambit match and you're being invaded, and you can kind of help like make your teammates invisible and yourself as well, and then the invader is just totally lost and confused because you also gain the damage resistance, so then you can just all turn on the invader and kill him. That's pretty fun as well. It's also pretty useful in PvP, obviously, if you run together as a team and you can just make your entire team disappear, and because you have 2 charges of the smoke bomb, you can do it 2 times in a row. So you can make them disappear. When it goes away, you can make them disappear again, and they will be damage resistance. And like if you do that, if you run together as a team in PvP and you do that, it's almost impossible to fight back against. So I'm not gonna show you gameplay with this build just because, to be perfectly honest with you, because I'm a little bit pressed on time, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory how it works. There's no like specific weapons that I would use for this, except maybe, you know, the Monte Carlo as well, just to get that melee ability back faster. So you, and it's also actually a decent weapon in PvP. So that's gonna be really fun and really annoying to the other team if you're playing PvP. Did you get it? Did you get it, guys? Go out there and smash some enemies with your hands. Even though you're not a Titan, just use, hunters can use their hands too, okay? And knives and smoke grenades and stuff. So we can do it as well. Okay, maybe that's a little too much. Relax, Rosa. Oh yeah, while you're smashing those enemies out there, remember to also smash like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos. Right? But seriously, subscribe to the channel, guys. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. As always, I'll see you in the next video.